Evolution of Thailand, Indonesia, Philippines and China, a comparative analysis. The historical and cultural evolution of Thailand, Indonesia, the Philippines and China represents a fascinating tapestry of interconnected yet distinct narratives. These nations, located in Southeast Asia and East Asia, have each undergone unique transformations shaped by geography, culture, religion, colonialism, and modernization. This article delves into their respective histories, examining how ancient roots, external influences, and internal dynamics have shaped their identities and trajectories. Thailand, the land of smiles, ancient roots and early kingdoms. Thailand's history dates back thousands of years, with archaeological evidence suggesting that early human settlements existed as far back as 20,000 BCE. The region's fertile plains and strategic location made it an ideal hub for trade and agriculture. The first major civilizations emerged during the first millennium CE, including the Dvaravati Kingdom, 6th–11th centuries, which was heavily influenced by Indian culture and Theravada Buddhism. The Khmer Empire, centered in present-day Cambodia, also exerted influence over parts of what is now Thailand. However, it was the rise of the Sukhothai kingdom in the 13th century that marked the beginning of a distinctly Thai identity. Sukhothai is often credited with developing the Thai alphabet and promoting Theravada Buddhism as the state religion. Later, the Ayutthaya kingdom, 1351–1767, became a dominant power in the region, known for its sophisticated administration, vibrant trade networks, and resistance to foreign domination. Colonial resistance and modernization. Unlike its neighbors, Thailand managed to avoid colonization through adept diplomacy and strategic alliances. King Mongkut, Rama IV, and his son, King Chulalongkorn, Rama V, implemented significant reforms in the 19th and early 20th centuries, modernizing the country's infrastructure, legal system, and education while preserving its independence. This period laid the foundation for Thailand's transformation into a constitutional monarchy after the Siamese Revolution of 1932. Post-World War II, Thailand experienced rapid economic growth, particularly during the Asian Tiger era of the late 20th century. Today, Thailand is renowned for its tourism industry, manufacturing sector, and cultural exports such as Thai cuisine and traditional arts. Indonesia, archipelago of diversity, prehistoric beginnings, and Hindu-Buddhist influence. Indonesia's story begins with its rich biodiversity and strategic position at the crossroads of maritime trade routes. Homo erectus fossils discovered on Java indicate human habitation as early as 1.5 million years ago. By the first millennium CE, Indian traders introduced Hinduism and Buddhism, leading to the establishment of powerful kingdoms like Srivijaya, 7th–13th centuries, and Majapahit, the 13th and 16th centuries. Srivijaya controlled much of the Malay Peninsula and Sumatra, leveraging its naval prowess to dominate regional trade. Majapahit, based in East Java, extended its influence across much of modern-day Indonesia and beyond, leaving behind a legacy of art, literature, and governance. Islamic expansion and colonial rule. Islam began spreading through Indonesia from the 13th century onward, eventually becoming the dominant religion. The Sultanate of Malacca and later Islamic sultanates played key roles in shaping Indonesian society. However, the arrival of European powers, particularly the Dutch, marked the beginning of colonial rule. The Dutch East India Company, VOC, established control over much of the archipelago, exploiting its resources and suppressing local resistance. Nationalist movements gained momentum in the early 20th century, culminating in Indonesia's Declaration of Independence in 1945, following Japanese occupation during World War II. Under leaders like Sukarno and Suharto, Indonesia pursued ambitious development programs, though these were often marred by political instability and authoritarianism. contemporary challenges and opportunities. Today, Indonesia is the world's fourth most populous nation and a member of the G20. Its economy is driven by natural resources, manufacturing, and services. Despite challenges such as corruption, inequality, and environmental degradation, Indonesia remains a dynamic player in global politics and economics. Philippines, crossroads of cultures, indigenous societies, and Spanish colonization. The Philippines' history reflects its role as a melting pot of cultures. Before the arrival of Europeans, the islands were home to diverse indigenous groups practicing animist beliefs and engaging in trade with neighboring regions. The introduction of Islam in the 14th century led to the formation of Muslim sultanates in Mindanao and the Sulu archipelago. In 1521, Ferdinand Magellan arrived, marking the start of Spanish colonization. For over 3 centuries, Spain imposed Catholicism, centralized governance, and a plantation-based economy. The Spanish-American War of 1898 ended Spanish rule, but the Philippines soon fell under American control. The U.S. introduced English-language education, democratic institutions, and infrastructure development. Struggle for independence and post-war growth. Filipino nationalists fought for independence throughout the colonial period, achieving partial autonomy in 1935 and full sovereignty in 1946. The post-war era saw efforts to rebuild the economy and address social inequalities. However, political instability, exemplified by Ferdinand Marcos's dictatorship, 1965-1986, hindered progress. Since the People Power Revolution of 1986, the Philippines has transitioned to a more democratic system. While poverty and corruption remain issues, the country benefits from a young, English-speaking workforce and growing industries like business process outsourcing, BPO, and tourism. China, the Middle Kingdom. Ancient civilizations and dynastic rule. China boasts one of the world's oldest continuous civilizations, with archaeological evidence dating back to the Neolithic Age. The Xia dynasty, c. 2070–1600 BCE, is considered the first recorded Chinese dynasty, followed by the Shang and Zhou dynasties. These early periods saw the development of writing, bronze technology, and Confucian philosophy. The Qin dynasty, 221–206 BCE, unified China under Emperor Qin Shi Huang, who standardized weights, measures, and currency. Subsequent dynasties such as the Han, Tang, Song, Ming, and Qing contributed to China's cultural, scientific, and economic achievements. Innovations like paper, gunpowder, and the compass originated in China and spread globally. Opium Wars and Republican era. The Opium Wars, 1839–1842 and 1856–1860, exposed China's vulnerability to Western imperialism, leading to unequal treaties and territorial concessions. Internal strife, including the Taiping Rebellion, 1850–1864, further weakened the Qing dynasty. In 1912, the Republic of China replaced imperial rule, but the country remained fragmented due to warlordism and civil conflict. Communist revolution and economic miracle. The Chinese Civil War, 1927–1949, resulted in the victory of Mao Zedong's Communist Party, establishing the People's Republic of China in 1949. Mao's policies, including the Great Leap Forward and Cultural Revolution, caused widespread suffering but also solidified communist control. After Mao's death in 1976, Deng Xiaoping initiated economic reforms that transformed China into a global powerhouse. Today, China is the world's second-largest economy, a leader in technology and manufacturing, and a rising geopolitical force. Yet, it faces challenges such as demographic shifts, environmental concerns, and tensions over human rights. Comparative perspectives. Cultural syncretism. All four nations exhibit remarkable cultural syncretism, blending indigenous traditions with external influences. For example, Buddhism permeates Thai and Indonesian societies, while Catholicism dominates the Philippines. China's Confucian heritage continues to shape its values and governance. Colonial legacies. Colonial experiences diverged significantly. Thailand avoided direct colonization, allowing it to retain greater autonomy. Indonesia and the Philippines endured long periods of foreign rule, which left lasting imprints on their languages, religions, and institutions. China faced semi-colonial conditions, sparking nationalist fervor. Modernization and globalization. Each country has pursued modernization differently. Thailand and Indonesia embraced export-oriented industrialization, while the Philippines focused on service sectors like BPO. China's state-led capitalism propelled it to unprecedented heights, contrasting with the more market-driven approaches of its neighbors. Conclusion: the evolution of Thailand, Indonesia, the Philippines, and China illustrates the resilience and adaptability of human societies. From ancient kingdoms to modern states, these nations have navigated complex histories shaped by both internal dynamics and external pressures. As they continue to evolve in the 21st century, their shared pasts offer valuable lessons for addressing contemporary challenges and fostering cooperation in an increasingly interconnected world.